Some FBI investigators are worried the Trump administration could try to interfere with probes, including on Russia, by shifting resources and priorities away from counterintelligence investigations, FBI sources tell CNN. There is a general fear that the White House will try to interfere with the investigation into Russian election meddling, one FBI source said. The first target will be the leak investigation, and then, long-term, if Donald Trump appoints some crony, that could make the whole Russia investigation go away. Acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe told senators Thursday, "I strongly believe that the Russian investigation is adequately resourced." One source said Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein isn't inclined to make a change unless the FBI investigation appears to be imperiled, and at this point, FBI officials are confident that the investigation is moving ahead, despite Comey's abrupt firing. The investigation is overseen by Dana Boente, the U.S. Attorney in Alexandria, Virginia, who now also serves as the head of national security prosecutions at Justice Department headquarters. Meanwhile, current and former agents said the startling way that Comey was fired. He learned the news from television reports while on a trip to Los Angeles, infuriated and unified many agents regardless of how they felt about the former FBI director personally. A federal law enforcement source familiar with morale in the FBI's Los Angeles field office, where Comey was when he saw the TV reports that he had been fired, said it varies from sadness to bewilderment, maybe. One longtime FBI supervisor tells CNN, "Everyone is disappointed at what happened, and we feel we lost a great director." I was appalled by Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying that several agents called her saying that they were happy he was gone. I don't know a single one. One street agent also praised Comey to CNN, saying, "Director Comey recognized that street agents were the backbone of the FBI." Opinion is divided within the Bureau over the job that Comey did during his 3-year tenure, with views split along political lines over the Bureau's unusually prominent role in the full presidential campaign, one former senior agent said. Some agents who dislike Hillary Clinton believe Comey went too easy on her by not recommending criminal charges, while others think he helped Trump win the election by injecting the FBI so deeply into the race. One law enforcement source said Comey's actions were sometimes the subject of debate among agents, but most respected him as a leader and believed that his decisions were made with good intentions. One veteran FBI supervisor said that although he found Comey to be well liked and respected by most agents, there was also growing concern that his actions, right or wrong, resulted in an unwanted focus on the FBI in recent months. "The Bureau does not like to be in the limelight," said the agent, who asked not to be named. "It was handled like if he'd stayed another minute, it would have caused further damage to the Bureau, like there was a national security concern. It's just insulting, we thought." But there is a clear consensus and outrage over the White House's decision to send the president's bodyguard to deliver the termination letter to the FBI while Comey himself was at a field office in Los Angeles, he said. "It was classless," said the former agent, who maintains close ties to many agents. "He deserved more respect than that." "Most people in the Bureau have not experienced something like this," one source said. "It feels like the FBI is going to be rudderless for a while. That's an uncomfortable feeling." Amid the turmoil, many of the Bureau's 13,000 agents are simply trying to keep their heads down and move past this week's events with hopes of getting a new director in place as quickly as possible. "Our guys are professionals," said Paul Nathanson, a spokesman for the FBI Agents Association. "They were working their cases last week, they're working their cases this week, and they'll be working their cases next week. What choice do they have?" The association has already made known its choice for a new director, Mike Rogers, the former agent and Michigan Republican congressman. Even as many agents bemoan the firing of Comey and the way he was treated, they're turning the page. Nathanson said. President Donald Trump's dismissal of Federal Bureau of Investigation Director James Comey has raised questions about the future of the agency's probe into Russian attempts to sway the 2016 presidential election and possible collusion with Trump's campaign. Democrats are worried Comey's firing on Tuesday could jeopardize the ongoing FBI probe and have renewed calls for an independent investigation. Some Republicans have said that could undermine concurrent investigations underway in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives. Here is what could happen next. The investigations already underway could continue. Comey's firing does not necessarily mean the FBI's investigation into Moscow's role in the 2016 election will be disrupted or end, legal experts told Reuters. The career FBI staffers Comey put in charge of the probe will likely continue it, even as the search for a new director begins. The parallel inquiries underway in Senate and House committees could likewise progress. The Justice Department, other federal agencies or the U.S. Congress could conduct independent investigations. The Justice Department could conduct a criminal investigation. But other federal agencies and departments have the power to conduct fact-finding inquiries, according to University of Southern California law professor Sam Ehrman. Congress could also create a special commission or appoint a special master separate from the committee probes, Ehrman said. The Justice Department could appoint a special counsel. Most Democrats have said they prefer the appointment of a special counsel at the Justice Department to oversee the probe since it is the only agency that can bring a criminal case. A law related to the appointment of a special prosecutor lapsed in the 1990s, but department regulations provide that the Attorney General can appoint a special counsel from outside the federal government. If the Attorney General ignores the recommendations of a special counsel, the rules specify that report must be sent to Congress, according to Justin Levitt, a professor at Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. The Attorney General can hire staff to do the job of a special counsel without triggering department rules. This occurred in 2003 when a special counsel investigated the disclosure of the identity of intelligence officer Valerie Plame. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein would likely appoint a special counsel. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has recused himself from involvement in Russia-related probes after misstating his own contacts in 2016 with Russia's ambassador in Washington. Rosenstein would likely appoint a special counsel. Some Democrats, however, have already raised questions about Sessions' role in advising Rosenstein on Comey's firing and called for a non-political appointee at the Justice Department to make the special counsel decision. The appointment of a special counsel would not end the congressional probes. Senate Republicans, including some from leadership, have said a special counsel should not be appointed because it would imperil ongoing congressional probes, but a special counsel would not have the authority to demand Congress halt a probe. Criminal probes can at times complicate congressional matters, particularly with witness testimony. But an investigation undertaken by a special counsel would be no different than the one already underway at the FBI. It wouldn't interfere any more or any less if a special counsel were appointed, Levitt said. Acting Federal Bureau of Investigation Director Andrew McCabe is pushing back on parts of the White House's narrative about his agency's investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election and President Donald Trump's decision to fire former Director James Comey. The acting director's remarks came Thursday during a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing on global threats. Asked if he would characterize the FBI's investigation into potential ties between Trump campaign associates and the Kremlin as one of the smallest things that they've got going on their plate, as Deputy White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders did Wednesday, he said, "I would not." Rather, McCabe called the probe highly significant. Asked if Comey had lost the confidence of FBI employees and agents over his handling of high-stakes political investigations, as White House officials and some congressional leaders have suggested, McCabe offered a stern defense of his former boss. Director Comey enjoyed broad support within the FBI and still does to this day, he said. McCabe, who said he met with Trump earlier this week, stated he would not provide updates to the White House on the status of the FBI's Russia investigation. He said he has not been pressured by the administration to do so, and if that were to happen, he vowed to inform the committee. Russia was the focus of much of Thursday's hearing with top intelligence officials. "We assess that Russia is likely to be more aggressive in global affairs," said Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats, confirming that U.S. intelligence officials had informed their French counterparts that they discovered Russian attempts to influence the European country's presidential election, which took place last weekend. Coats and National Security Agency Director Admiral Michael Rogers also pressed their case for the reauthorization of Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, a controversial section of the law set to expire later this year.